in the district games?
Tournaments have been pretty good. We went to Sweeney and played there 3 days, and we did really well. I think we were 4-1 on that tournament, and then we went to LCISD, which is Lamar Consolidated, their district, and played. We didn't fare as well there. We struggled a little bit, but we learned a lot. And we've also played 3 district games. We've played Elkins High School, Texas City High School, and we played Santa Fe last night. And unfortunately, we have been on the downside of those 3 games.
Right. Well, it's still early in the season, so working out the kinks, correct?
Yes, we have a lot of talent. We're just trying to put it all together to make it work.
Exactly. So, tell me a little bit about the. I have questions about the Sweeney tournament. Where is Sweeney at?
Sweeney, it's way out there.
Isn't it like west of Houston or something?
It's towards. I can't even.
It's a 2-hour drive.
It's about an hour and a half, 45-minute drive towards.
Brazoria.
Towards west?
It's Brazoria County
Oh,
area.
okay. So it's that way. Okay. So anyway, and to refresh everyone's memory, especially softball, when you're in tournaments, you play multiple games a day, right?
Yes, we do. I think we only played 2 a game. We played 6 total that weekend, so we played 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, and 2 Saturday.
Wow, back to back to back. So,
yes, sir.
Is there ever times where you play more than 2 games a day? If you're in like a one-day tournament or something?
We do a 1-day tournament. Normally, we'll go 3 games. Will be the max we'll get.
Okay, so a little bit different in those boys, right? The girls
Yes, totally.
the girls can last a lot longer, right?
Yeah,
And
we
those
can hang
boys.
in there longer than the guys can.
Exactly. All right, so you've brought a couple guests with you, right? So let's talk to
Yes.
them.
Yes, I have a senior, Kat Rodriguez. I was going to call you. She goes by Kat. She's a senior. She's also a pitcher. And I also have a sophomore, Brittney Shaw, who is a utility. She actually plays third base, kind of does wherever we need to on it.
All right, so let's, excuse me, talk to Kat first. Hello, Kat. Welcome to KTOR the Tornado.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a senior, correct?
Yep.
And which small learning community are you in?
Biomed.
Biomed, okay. And what do you plan to do after you graduate?
Going into nursing.
Nursing, okay, so you want to be a nurse?
Yeah, pediatrics.
Pediatric nurse, okay. Are you looking around? Where do you plan to go to college?
I was going to do summer classes at GC. My mom wants me to go to GC.
Okay, well, that'd be good to get some basics out of the way and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So what is your plan for nursing school? Is it get your basics out of the way at Galveston College, and what would be the likely progression after that? Where would you go?
I want to go to the program at UTMB.
UTMB, okay.
Yeah, the nursing program.
Be good there, and then that way you can kind of have a foot in the door to get a good job there at UTMB, right? So pediatric nursing, what attracts you to that particular area of nursing?
Well, growing up, I had to take care of my brother he was sick quite a bit for the majority of his life, and I had to help around the house, take care of him and stuff. So that kind of got me interested in it. I'm pretty sure that's what got my mom interested in nursing as well.
Have you done any like internships or anything like that this year?
Yeah, I'm in a clinical rotations class, and we go to the hospitals and we help out. We shadow a nurse, and it's really cool. We've gone to Shriners, pediatric floor, NICU, and I think gynecology or something.
Okay, all right. And school-wise, what's your favorite subject, favorite class?
I guess softball.
No, aren't listening there.
Okay, a non-sport. What is your favorite non-sport class?
I like the clinical rotations class.
Okay, clinical rotations. That's very cool. And what class is always a thorn in your side? It's like, okay, yeah, I have to really work extra hard that class to make that good grade.
Math.
Math, okay, all right. What type of math are you taking right now?
I didn't take one this year. I
Okay.
got all my maths out the way.
Okay, so what was the last math class that you took?
I think pre-cal.
Pre-cal, okay, yeah, that's a natural progression. All right, well, good. So it sounds like academic-wise, school-wise, so how do you feel about graduating soon?
I'm excited.
Excited. It goes by fast, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it really did. It's kind of crazy.
So take it from us that have been through there, yeah, you're real excited, you're senior year and you graduate, and then when you actually graduate, you're going to have this moment of like, oh, what next? You know,
Yeah.
you've left the safe cocoon of a school, like somewhere to go every day, and now it's time to grow up again, right? And go on to the next phase of your life. So whenever you get that feeling, just know that's just a natural feeling that everyone goes through. So we promise you'll have, and for some students that lasts a little bit longer than others, and just know too, buckle down. Your college work, it's even though you have a class, maybe you may have a class, one of your classes once a week or twice a week, you'll fall in this trap thinking, wow, I have all this time, and really you don't. So you got to really learn to budget your time, and that's really hard for a lot of seniors that leave and go the freshman year, because your coaches will tell you the failure rate of college freshmen are really quite high just because it's a shock. And you'll find out quickly, what do you mean I can't turn in my paper 2 weeks late? You have a professor that's like, when I say it's due Friday at 2 o'clock, I mean Friday at 2 o'clock, unless you've previously arranged something, or you know that type of thing too. So I think that's a big adjustment too for a lot of students, just respecting deadlines.
Yeah.
But just talking to you now, I don't think we're gonna have that problem. So
Deadlines, what are those?
yeah. All right. So let's talk about softball. How many years have you been in the softball program?
4.
4 years. Oh, it's all 4 years. Thinking back to your freshman year, how did it go? So did you play softball like I don't know, Lassie League or whatever, and was in town?
No, I played select.
Okay, select.
Travel
Okay,
ball.
so select before you started playing high school softball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So your freshman year, I'm assuming you probably tried out for the team, right, of the program.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just trace back from the very beginning. Describe your freshman year experience.
Trying out.
Yeah, trying out and then making the team and just that type of thing. Just remembering back, what's your vivid memories of your freshman year in softball?
I don't know. I've always been kind of like nonchalant about everything.
Right.
So I just kind of showed up and was like, hey.
So you showed up and just started playing, right?
Yep.
So what position whenever you were a freshman, what position did you play?
Well, before I injured my arm, I played outfield, I guess, and I could play infield, but now I mostly pitch and maybe do first base.
Okay, so is that what you play right now primarily?
Yeah.
First base?
In pitching.
In
yeah.
pitching, okay. So how are the positions different?
Like first base and pitching?
Yeah, I mean, other than the obvious. I mean, like training-wise or, I don't know, practice-wise or whatever.
I mean...
What's your best advice to tell a future player that's coming on the softball team and they're pitching and playing first base?
Work hard. Pitching for me is just mostly spinning the ball. You have to spin, and work on your mechanics a lot. My first year pitching, I didn't even actually get to throw the ball. I just did spins for an entire year.
So learning how to spin, and so the art of spinning, like what does that do to the batters? Like they can't see it, or it just does funny things to their eyes whenever they see it?
Moving the ball. You throw a curve, you want it to curve, and it'll go off the end of their bat or something, or a drop, go under their bat.
The more spin you have, the more movement you have.
Okay.
It's going to keep them guessing, like, whoa, what's coming next?
Okay, so you're finishing up your senior year, so 4 years of softball. So what's your advice for incoming softball players? As you leave and look back, what's your biggest advice to future girls that want to play softball?
Try hard, do your
Try
best,
hard.
work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get down on yourself like a lot of softball players do. It goes by really fast, so just kind of soak in as much of it as you can.
Just and practice hard and sharpen your skills.
Yep.
And what do you do in between seasons? Like your junior year, your softball season was over. Did you play softball during the summer or?
No, I had surgery last year, so I didn't get to.
But if you didn't have surgery, would you have been playing select ball or?
Yeah.
Whatever y'all call it in softball in the softball world. So you would just keep playing year round. Because I know, especially on softball and baseball, it tends to be a year-round sport, right? You're playing in the fall and summer and that type of thing. All right, moving on to Brittney, right?
Yes, sir.
And Brittney, you're a sophomore, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is, I'm assuming, your second year on the team?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is, okay, first of all, let's talk about you as a student. Which community are you in?
Biomed.
Biomed, okay. So why are you in the biomed community?
I want to be a doctor.
A doctor, okay. That's, wow, all these future doctors.
I
They're going to
know.
take care of us in our, I was going to say,
know.
my older age, right? Our older age or whatever. So, okay, so what makes you want to be a doctor? Do you always wanted to be a doctor or?
No, at first I wanted to be a nurse practitioner,
Uh-huh.
but nurses have to work really hard compared to doctors. And
So you're saying the doctors make the nurses do all the work, okay?
And you only have to go to school for
Uh-huh.
2 more years. School's not that bad. Like,
Alright.
when I don't have school, like, I have nothing to do. School's like
Mhm.
a schedule for me, and I need something to do all the time, so.
Okay, so that's very admirable. So this year, so sophomore, what do you say is your toughest class that you just really have to work really hard in?
Human geography.
Human geography. Okay, so describe the human geography course, because I always thought it was one thing and it's another. So what do you learn in that class?
Basically, the economy, the industry, why people live where they live, and why they have certain resources in certain places,
Mhm.
and why the United States is very well off, but if you go to another country like Asia, there's they're struggling, or they're third world countries, and you learn why.
So it's kind of like, I guess, trying to dissect the title. It's study of the geography with humans in it in different places, right?
Yes.
Because when I first heard of human geography, I almost thought it was like a medical class or
Right,
something.
that's what I thought.
Like,
I learned something today.
physiology class or something, that type of thing. So, okay, so I'm assuming, is that like an AP class or you take an AP
Yes, sir.
exam or whatever? So that should be coming up soon, right? The AP exam
Yeah.
in the next month or so. Sorry to remind you, right? So, so you're all working real hard on that. So, how do you like that class? I mean, I know you just said it's challenging, right?
For sure.
So that keeps you on your toes, right?
Yes, sir.
What is your easiest class other than softball?
Pre-cal.
Pre-Cal. Oh, okay. So we had just had someone say earlier that pre-Cal was their hardest math, right?
I
So
hate math. I'm
so-
just not.
either it's kind of like you're either a math person or you're not a math person,
Yeah.
or even a science person or not, because so many students do not like math and science. But I admire you all that do well in it, because a lot of students don't, and I know Coach probably sees that too.
Yes.
Where she'll be looking at a failure list and go, oh my God, all my players right now are not doing well in math and science. And you can go, you can tell quickly what their favorite classes are or whatever. So I salute you on that, because that'll get you a long way, especially in college, if you just stay true to math and science. All right, so you're a sophomore, so you at least have a couple more years in the program, right?
Yes, sir.
And what is your primary position you play?
I'd say third. I played mostly third
Third?
base last year.
Okay, coach is kind of nodding. Okay, correct, good answer. So
She
third
did
base.
last year. This year she's
Kind
having
of
to
catch it.
she's having to catch a little bit for
Oh,
us.
okay. Oh, all right. So you have to kind of like fill in or something, catching or
She
whatever.
does a good job back there.
Okay,
She's
so-
great at everything she does.
So third base and catcher, how do you work and train differently for those type of positions?
A catcher, you have to do something with every pitch that goes on. Like
Uh-huh.
a pitcher, she pitches the ball, you have to catch it, and you have to be the leader of the field.
Right.
Like if you were to
Give direction to everyone.
Yeah. Like
Keep them pumped up and everything.
if you could, if you were to be a catcher, you're the only person who can see the whole field, so you need to let
Mhm.
everybody know what's going on. But third base, it's kind of like you have to stop everything that comes to you and get outs, because those outs could be detrimental to
Right.
runners in scoring positions. So
It's a hot spot.
yeah, I think it's just it's more of a mental game and how you play it.
So obviously, since your positions are third base and catcher, I'm assuming you have a good arm,
Yes, sir.
because you have to, when you're playing third base, you have to throw all the way across the diamond, right? And to first base, have a strong arm. Then, assuming if someone's stealing, you got to throw out a second too, right? To have a strong arm too,
Yes, sir.
with that heavy softball too. What do you do to train to strengthen your arm? Do you lift weights or just repetitions, or what do you do?
Well, recently I hurt my elbow.
Uh-huh.
It was something close to Tommy John. It was on the verge
Oh
of
my
it.
God! I'm surprised your coach didn't have gray hair. You
Yeah.
cover it, or you
I
cover it
know,
well.
what are you
He
talking
covers
about?
well.
You see all these?
Yeah,
Golly.
exactly.
So I was out for a good 3 weeks, but I had to do a lot of physical therapy, like
Right.
band work and
Mhm.
lifting small weights.
Yeah. Yeah, that Tommy John stuff. That's talking big time, right?
Yeah.
So did you have to go through rehab or PT or just
Yes.
to kind of make sure strengthen and getting everything back and not overdoing it and that type of thing. So what do you like best about playing softball?
I'd say the energy. And when you're having fun, when you're winning, when you're hitting, it's just a lot of fun. There's always downsides to it, but when you're having fun, like, there's like nothing else in the world that could be better than being there in that moment.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot just for a second, then your coach will have the chance to do the payback, okay? So tell me about Coach Phillips. How's she to work with? What do you like most about her? If she has to be tough, you know, how do you feel about that? You know, whatever. So we'll start with you, Brittney.
Okay, Coach Phillips is, I want to say, like, our number one supporter. She believes in us the most. She stresses, like, so much about the program and about, like, how we play, and she cares about our performance, and she wants us, like, to want to be there. And if she's ever to get upset, it's not, like, an angry upset, because, like, she understands. It's, like, a frustrated upset, because she knows that, I say all the time, like, this year we have so much talent, and then the years before we have so much talent, we just need to put it to work. So if anything, her being upset is just frustration. And
frustration, maybe a little disappointment, because she knows that you can take it to the next level, and maybe you're, you know, there's a team they're holding back and not, you know, notching it up.
She wants us to be a team, like, to work together.
I get that way sometimes in the classroom here, because you can tell, obviously, you know, with this program here, the radio and the TV, you know, we work together as a team. And I mean, you know how the students, either some days you're on it and the others not, and then they'll go, oh, Dudas is in a bad mood today. No, Dudas is not in a bad mood today. Dudas is having to light a fire or anyone, you know, just to keep that fire going. So kind of same thing with coaching, you know, I can totally understand that and appreciate your coach's position. So, all right, okay, how do you feel?
I don't know. I think my freshman year, coming in, the first thing I noticed about Coach Phillips is she's very passionate about the sport. I mean, that's the only thing I can say to describe her. She's very passionate about it. You know, anything she does, you know, for the program is passion. You know, she wants us to do our best. She really is, like Brittney said, our number one supporter. It's crazy, like, because she knows, you know, she knows that we have a lot of talented people.
You have it in you. It's just she has to pull it out a lot of times, right? So to speak.
She played collegiate ball, like, she's been there, you know.
And you all probably know, you know, being a coach and a lot of times a classroom teacher, you wear many different hats. Especially like her, like your coach, I'm sure sometimes she's like your mom, right? She's your mentor, your friend, right? Your disciplinarian, you know, she wears many different roles, and she carries many different roles, and sometimes it's probably hard shifting gears, or, you know, you have to sometimes crack the whip and then they go, God, what's wrong with Coach Phillips today, or whatever. Well, she has a disciplinarian teacher, coach on, you know, and other times, you know, it's all a part. Like they tell us all the time with teachers in our training, you got to build the relationships with your students, and what just means is, like, you got to find that point where you can pull the best out of them, but then you got to know when it's time to be that disciplinarian. So, all right, Coach Phillips, now is the time for you to turn the tables on them. Let's talk about these two young ladies here.
All right.
Which I'm really excited, because she's the first co-host of a show that's brought students here, so that's great. I appreciate bringing you on. So, yeah, softball rule.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk about these young ladies from your perspective.
These two are superb athletes. They work hard at what they do. They give it their all. I mean, upset, mad, they play hard. They try to lift their, you know, the other players up on the team. They listen. As far as from a coaching standpoint, they're going to do what you ask them to do when you ask them to do it, and they push the other kids to do that as well. And not only do they speak in that role of it, on the field, they can talk with their gloves, they can talk with their bats. They don't have to just do it with, you know, trying to lead as far as with their mouths and yelling at the kids. You know, they're able to put that, you know, onto the field and show. They're able to show it as well. So, I mean, there's many different roles that they play.
So they not only talk the talk, but they walk the walk too.
Absolutely.
So, which sometimes you can, you know, talk the talk, but you know, you can try and fool everyone and not do the walk, right?
Right.
So that's that fine line of being a good leader. So,
the two of these girls, they both understand what it takes to play the game. You don't just pick up a ball in January when it's time for tryouts. You throw, you hit as many as you can. You got to go to physical therapy. You go get your physical therapy done. They've played, they've been around it. You don't just go play, a little lascively, just a little bit here and there, and then expect to make it's competitive, and that's what not everybody understands that. Some people look at high school ball not being as competitive, but it really is. I mean, we have a lot of competitors in our district, and the girls play. They play year-round. They play travel ball, and these two have the dedication, and it starts with not just them two, their parents too. Their parents put a lot into it, and they do a lot for them. So that's a big part of what makes our program successful is, the backing of mom and dad being there and doing whatever it is that we need or the girls need. They make sure that they take care of it.
Because especially spring sports, you spend a lot of hours together.
We do. We are a family, and even with my little one, he's 3, and he gets to be there with us. So it is a family. It's fun. So he's got a bunch of big sisters, and they're all wanting me to have a little girl, and I said, I don't need a little girl. I've got 14 of you guys.
Exactly,
what are you talking
really,
about?
Yeah. Have more than I can deal with right now.
That's right.
Know what to deal with. Okay. What's your schedule look like?
We have a full schedule. We play tomorrow at home versus Galena Park. We're supposed to play Saturday at Willow Ridge, and then we come back on Tuesday and play at home versus Shadow Creek, and it'll be a varsity-only game. They no longer have a JV at 12. And then it's spring break, but not really spring break.
No, you don't take it off.
You don't get spring break.
No.
What are you talking
No.
about? We're going to practice some. I'd like the girls to have some rest. I don't want it to be like all, because everybody needs that time off, even the coaches. So we'll practice in the morning. They'll get the afternoons to themselves to kind of go and do, and then we'll pull it back because we come back to spring break. We're still in district play. Nothing changes, so we still have to keep the ball rolling. And
So you have some games next week?
yes, sir.
Okay. So practicing and games and that type of thing. Then for your game tomorrow night, I understand, is Mr. Carpenter going to be a teacher that's going to be honored? I had heard.
I believe we're doing it's teacher night, so all the girls were to pick a teacher to come out and we will announce and do and honor them. And
the reason I know that he's doing some announcing at the baseball game tomorrow night, and he told me, Dudas, you need to cover for me for a few minutes. I gotta run across the parking lot over there to the softball field.
Thank goodness we're close together.
Certainly, yeah. He's a deserving teacher too for that too.
Absolutely.
Does a lot of good work too. All right, Coach Phillips and ladies, thank you for visiting with us today. Much good luck. I know the season's just started, so keep your head high, work hard, and everything will work out. And Coach Phillips and Coach Brown, we'll see you next week, okay?
Yes, sir.
We'll see you after spring break, okay?
All
Good
right.
luck. Have a great
Thank
spring
you.
break and a safe spring break.
You
Thank
too.
you.
What's today's date?
The 9th, ain't it?
Whoa, let me look at my phone. Yes.
Dang, you ain't trust me, Kat?
I just want to be sure. Don't close it, Brittney. Do I put cat? I don't know.
Katarina,
My handwriting's...
a.k.a. Kat.
Katarina.
I have such a long name.
This is long enough
Dang.
today.
Oh, you put a smiley face.
So,
No, I look
Coach
like a
Phillips,
fighter.
that's where we're going for spring break.
Dang.
Where?
New York City.
I'll put a nose. I'm going to
Yeah.
put my smiley face in
For
the
5 nights and 6 days.